Greetings everyone, welcome to Chess Advance. This game was played in Grand Chess Tour Finals that's happening in São Paulo, Brazil, and with the white pieces we have Maxime Vachier-Lagrave facing off against Fabiano Caruana, and Fabi in the last game has equalized the score after a really grueling rapid section, and now Fabi is 2 out of 0 in the Blitz, and if Maxime is able to even win one game, he will be the winner of Grand Chess Tour only for this round. But the thing is that if Fabi can bounce back in the last game, then that would be an absolutely amazing thing. But in this round, whoever wins will take a massive lead in the last round, and I mean the pressure is going to be high, the stakes are high. Let's see what Maxime is able to do. And Maxime with the white pieces goes for e5. We have c5 by Fabi. Now just comes knight to f3, knight to c6 and d4. They go into the Shreshnikov as they have been doing. We have c captures, knight captures, e5, knight to b5, d6. Now just going for this knight to c3, a6, knight to a3, and now just knight to f6. We have bishop to g5, b5. Now this is the Shreshnikov, and here just bishop captures, she captures. Now knight to d5, getting that knight very nicely to the center of the square. Now just comes f5, and here we have bishop to d3, bishop to e6, and now the main line that we have seen is queen to h5 in this. I mean, in various games that they played in Blitz and in rapid section as well. But in this position here, just castles was played. Now just comes bishop captures on d5, e captures, bishop to e7, and here just going for c4, immediately charging in. And maybe you can play a move like b4 and push the knight back, but then you're gonna have to face a move like a5 in this position. Then that would be weird. So here after e4, pushing the bishop back, bishop to e2, we have bishop to g7. Now just comes queen to d2, b captures on c4, knight captures, and finally going for castles. Looks very weird. You're castling against an open side, not something you want to do, but if it works, then why not? Hey, just queen to f4 was played, threatening to capture that pawn, and that's exactly what you have to do. Hey, just knight captures on d5 was played, and you can go for this queen captures here, and after queen captures, knight captures, you just develop the rook with the tempo, allow the capture of that pawn because activity above all. And here after knight captures on f5, your position would be absolutely fine. You can hope for a draw in this position and give everything all out, go all out in the finals, and whoever wins is going to win the entire thing. So that could have happened, but here after knight captures on d5, we have queen captures on f5, and this is the mistake that MVL did in this position. You're not supposed to capture with the queen, because the trouble is now knight to e7, it attacks the queen. What do you do in this position? You have to move the queen, and now every Sicilian player's dream, every Shreshnikov player's dream that you can play in this position, that is d5, and that was played in the game. And the thing is that rook a to d1 now just comes f5, and normally in Shreshnikov systems you'll see that f5 move being played a lot, but the thing is that here, I mean, you get either f5, and sometimes in Sicilian, when you're really lucky, you get d5, but not both. But this is a game where actually Fabi was able to get both of them. And here just b3. Now you cannot capture because here the queen would be hanging, king to h8, and now just comes g3, queen to c7. We have knight to e3 targeting both of those pawns, d4 now, but here just going for this knight to c4, and you can immediately trap the bishop here by going for a move like d3. In this position, the bishop has no squares. Rooks are unfortunately taking away the bishop squares, queen is taking away this square. You cannot go anywhere else, and your position is just really bad. But instead here Fabi goes for the best move. He goes for knight to d5, not even taking the bishop, and here bishop to g4 was played. You could go for this f3 now, and after d3, say that maybe after bishop captures, pawn captures, and rook captures, you get 2 pawns for the pieces and central squares are gone. Maybe your king is a little bit weak, maybe you'll have some chances, but here after rook a8, it's highly unlikely. Even if you double up, you'll get any chances. You're just a piece down, and you have to accept that. But here after knight to d5, we have bishop to g4, and you can capture, but the thing is that if you capture in this position, after f captures, knight captures, queen captures will be played, and here rook a to e1 defending the pawn. And if you stick along too much to the pawns and to material in this position, then the trouble is there is a beautiful move that can equalize the score. So I'm going to ask you to pause the video and try and find out the only winning move or only drawing move in this position. Have at it. So congratulations to everyone who's able to find this move. The move is a rook captures on d4, and if you go for bishop captures, then queen captures, your king is a bit too in the open, and most likely this game is going to end in a draw. But the thing is, after bishop to g4, we have knight to e7, and that is the best move. Bishop to h3, but now just comes rook a to d8, king to h1, and rook to d5. Now we have rook f to e1, rook to c5, bishop to g2, bishop coming back to the original square, and here just knight to d5. Now just going for this queen to g5, but here knight to c3 was played. This position is very bad for white. I mean, how Maxime is able to tackle this, it's just very difficult to play. But here just now comes rook to d2, f4. Now that comes with an attack towards the queen, so you get a free tempo here. Queen to g4, but now this comes f3. You have to move the bishop away, bishop to h3, queen to c6, and now just going for and asking for a queen trade. Queen captures, bishop captures, d3 now, and d3 is a beautiful move, and you can see that knight is jumping in. I mean, what kind of a structure is this? I mean, you never see that happen in a real game. It just knight to e3, but now just comes this knight to e2, rook d to d1, and bishop to d4. Now bishop to c4, bishop caps on e3, f captures, and a5 was played. And if you're thinking why not just sacrifice the bishop now, if you go for captures, then after captures and rook captures, there's actually a mate in 7. If you can see, the idea is knight captures on g3, and after h captures you deliver this check, and you cannot go here because pawn covers it, you cannot go here because rook covers it, only move, and now just comes f2, and there is nothing you can do. You go king to g2, I just come up with a new queen, you move with the rook back, and queen to f1 is actually checkmate. So all of this in the game, and they know both know it. So here after rook to f1, now just comes this a4, but after rook to d2, just a3 was played. But the thing is that this a3 move even wins the game, because now all I have to do is go after the a2 pawn, and my position would be really in a winning situation. But after g6, g4 here, king to g7, g4, with the idea that you don't allow the rook to get here. If the rook gets here, your entire position just falls apart after knight caps on g3. So here after king to g7, we have rook to f2, h5 now, g captures, rook captures, and now just finally going for bishop caps on d3, sacrificing the bishop, but e captures, rook captures, and here rook to c5, but here just h3, making some breathing room for the king. And here after knight to g3, it was on this move, on just move 48, that Maxime Vachier-Lagrave resigned the game, and Fabi was able to create this masterpiece of a game in just 48 moves against MVL on demand. And if MVL doesn't win the next game, then Fabi will win the entire Grand Chess too. So it's going to be absolutely insane. I'll be covering that game as well. And the thing is that he had to not allow actually MVL to go for a actually win in the next round, because the thing is that not only because of the fact that it would draw the entire thing and you force tie breaks then, but the thing is that Fabi cannot play tie breaks simply because of the fact that there is only one flight that leaves from Brazil to Dallas, and if he misses that flight, he won't be able to actually play against India versus USA match that's going to be happening on 5th of October. So that was the thing. And if you think about it, he has a very jam-packed schedule, so he had to win on demand. So let's see how that happens. And the thing is that if you're wondering why this position is lost, well, simply because you're a piece down. But other than that, if you try to go for something, king to h2, knight to e4, rook to f1, and after f2 you play king to g2, rook to c2, rook to d4, after rook to e8, rook to d7 check, and after a couple of checks you move the rook back. I just play rook caps on a2. I have two pass pawns, you cannot protect them all. So that's why here after this knight to g3 check, here he resigned the game, Maxime, and now everything is banking on the last game, if Maxime will be able to win and force tie breaks, or otherwise let's see what happens. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I'll be coming back with such amazing games, so stay tuned to the channel, stay updated, and I'll be seeing you guys very soon. Thank you very much for watching.